Welcome back to We Are the Hansons. If you're new here, we're a big, loving, sometimes chaotic family sharing the highs and lows of parenting, marriage, and everything in between. Today's episode is a deeply personal one that shaped our family in ways we never expected. We're talking about what it's like to be a parent to a child with a chronic illness. It's a journey full of fear, frustration, resilience, and love. And while it's never easy, it has taught us so much about strength, not just in our child, but in ourselves and our family as a whole. Let's get started. So, finding out that your child has a chronic illness isn't something that anyone wants to hear. And you tend to remember that exact moment for life. It's something that you never want to hear a doctor or anyone tell you your child has got a chronic illness. From experience, we have dealt with it for a long time. First, it started, our son Gavin, he had what they call a multicystic kidney, and they found it before he was born. And he ended up going through a lot of medical procedures and stuff like that. But eventually the doctor just told us, we don't know what else to do. Hopefully he grows out of it. So far, he has grown out of it for as far as we know. That was the scary thing. And then we go to our daughter, Madison. She had a tumor the size of a little bit bigger than a dime, just about nickel size, in her neck that had to be removed. And then Anna. Our little Anna was born 3 months early. She contracted a blood infection called Enterobacter, and she also contracted another infection called spinal meningitis. Needless to say, she had bleeding and fluid on the brain. So they had to put a shunt in. Now, battling that was scary in itself, knowing that she had to be put under and a device placed in the brain to help her be able to live a somewhat normal life. So far, she's lived what I feel is a great life, but I also see the hurdles and struggles that she carries. One of them being, headaches. Living with headaches. Nobody ever wants to live with headaches all the time. It is horrible. I used to get headaches really bad, migraines. I ended up seeing a chiropractor and that took that away, thank goodness. Hers ain't quite that easy. Hers is more complex. And as the doctors tell us that she has such a complex medical condition, we are walking on shells everywhere we go, just trying to figure out what is causing these symptoms. And we still have yet to figure it out. We're working on it. As a parent with a child with a chronic illness, Anna has her headaches. She has her stomach issues. She's having throw up issues. We've been battling the seizures for a long time. We know she's having 2 different types of seizures. We only know what one is, which is the absent seizures. We don't know what the other one is. I've been pushing for answers, still have none. And then this throw up issue. She throws up constantly, and she has since she was a baby. So this is nothing new. She's 7 years old now. She'll be 8 in July. So it's always a fight. It's hard because you sit there and see your child struggling. They get sick of taking medicines, which she's on 4 different medicines right now. They get sick of throwing up all the time, which we can't figure out why she's doing it. They get sick of everything, being sick. They're just tired of it. And as a parent, I personally really struggle because I hate seeing her sick. And it's not a contagious sick. It's the illness that she carries with her. So that being said, I struggle really bad. I am the one that will push because I'm her voice. And I want answers as well. I want to know why she's getting sick. I want to know why she has headaches all the time. I want to know why she's having seizures. There has to be answers. There has to be something there that is causing this. And that's what I say to the doctors all the time. And I think the doctors are getting pretty sick of me, but that's okay. They can deal with it. Because I'm sure if it were their child, they'd be the same way as I am, pushing for answers. So we have a gastrologist, we have a neurologist, we have a family doctor, and we have a specialist for her eyes. We have all these doctors, and so far, none of them have given us the answers that we need. We are still sitting in limbo. We're still on all these medicines, and most of the medicines are trial medicines. They either work or they don't. They try them for 2 to 3 weeks, and then they switch her to a different one. It's not fun. Not fun at all. And us as parents have to battle to get answers, and it's not fair. You know, we sit there and watch our child go through medical procedures and doctor's appointments, and they're sticking them constantly with IVs and needles. And who wants to sit there and watch that? I mean, I guess if you're a nurse, you may because you're learning, but I don't want to sit there and watch them stick my child and poke and prod her and hurt her. It's miserable. And it's miserable more for them. So even though we're feeling miserable, I just sit there and think, man, I feel really bad for her. And it's something no parent should have to go through. I'd rather just take the illness from her and put it on myself and deal with it on my own than watch her go through it. She doesn't want to do all this. She doesn't want to go to the doctors. She doesn't want to go to see the specialist. You know, she doesn't want to take the medicine she's on. She's getting tired. And I don't blame her. She wants to be like every other child. No medicine, no doctor's appointments all the time, not missing a lot of school. Because she does miss a lot of school going to all these appointments. So it gets rough. I'm sure if you're out there listening and you know somebody with this chronic illness or any chronic illness, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's rough. It's almost like you're on a roller coaster and you hit a bump. Cart goes off track a little bit, but then it goes back on and you're riding along and you take a turn and your cart goes off the track a little and then it goes back on. It's like that, up and down, side to side. You know, we never know what the next day is going to bring, or even through the middle of the night. I remember her first seizure she had. It was early in the morning, and I was in the bedroom watching the news. Jeremy had just came back into the bedroom, and Anna and the kids were in the living room watching TV, cartoons. I heard a noise, and it sounded like a book or something fell on the floor. And I heard a loud thud. And Madison yelled, "Mom, Anna." And I went running out there, and she was in a full-blown seizure on the floor in front of the television. She had already went to the bathroom in her pants. I picked her up, and I was trying to get her to come to, but she was shaking so bad, I couldn't hold her. So I handed her to Jeremy. He sat with her and talked to her and made sure she didn't bite her tongue. It lasted a good amount of time. It was like 2 minutes and 46 seconds or something like that it lasted. That is something I never want to see. It made my heart break. It was to the point where when my kids get hurt, and some of you may know this from experience, I'm that person when my children get hurt, I cannot deal with seeing them like that. So in this sense, when Anna collapsed and she was in her seizure and I seen her, my heart started beating so fast because I was so scared. It felt like it was going to beat right out of my chest. At that point, I ran to the bedroom and I'm trying to find clothes because I'm wearing pajamas. And I'm trying to get dressed in regular clothes as I'm yelling out to the living room, should we call the ambulance? And Jeremy said, no, I think she's okay. And at that point, I walked out to see her and she was not with it. Like I could put my hand in front of her eyes and she was in a dead stare, just staring off into space, wasn't responding to me. I was scared. I've never, ever seen somebody have a seizure. So that scared me really bad. I called her pediatrician and I asked if I could bring her in and what we just experienced. And she said, yeah, bring her in. So I hurried up, got Anna all cleaned up, and we jetted to the doctor's office. And we get there, and Anna was still so out of it. The doctor looked at me and said, this isn't our Anna. She's definitely got something going on. She said, I can either call an ambulance or you guys can take her to Springfield Hospital and I will call up there to let them know you're coming to the ER. So that's what we did. We got in the car and we went from there to Springfield to the hospital immediately. As soon as we got there, they called us right back. Didn't wait. They got her started on Keppra, which is a seizure medicine. They did a bunch of labs, a bunch of scans. They did the workup on her. Then they sent us on our way. And Anna slept for a long time. She was so drained from just that 2 minute, 46-second seizure that it took everything out of her. She was drained. I did get her to eat a little bit that night, but I was so scared to leave her sleep anywhere but next to us because I did not want something to happen in the middle of the night and me not hear her. So there was that time. Then she had another seizure. We were actually going to Branson to go out on a boat. And we were traveling there and we got about 35 minutes from home. And Maddie was sitting in the back seat with her and Torrin. And she yelled, Mom, Anna. And I looked back and Anna had she was chewing a piece of gum. And she just was in a full-blown seizure again. So I got the gum out of her mouth. And I told Jeremy, you need to pull over. So we got to where we could get into a Walmart parking lot. We got her out and up and moving around a little bit, but she was still real tired, not wanting to do anything. She slept for like 4.5 hours after that seizure. And as soon as she woke up, she didn't really remember what had just happened. Nothing at all, just that she was really tired. And she said, can we go on the boat now? She remembered where we were going. We did end up going out on the boat after that, but scary. And then the last seizure she had, we were working and her and Torrin were with us. They were sleeping in the car. And I had the windows down and we were within 4 feet of the car. So we weren't that far from the car. And I heard Torrin scream for Mom and Dad. We went over there and Anna, again, was sound asleep, but in a full-blown seizure. It's not fun. not fun at all, and it's very heartbreaking as a parent. And I'm sure if you guys that are listening, if any one of you have a family member, anything that has chronic illness or anything like that, you would understand what I'm talking about. It's not fun, and it's heartbreaking. You don't ever want to see a family member go through this. People often don't see what life is like behind our scene, behind the scenes, like the doctor's appointments, the medications, the sleepless nights, the advocating for your children. You become not just a parent, but a medical expert and a researcher, a full-time advocate for your child's needs. And that's what I do. I work, I advocate, and I do everything I can for my little girl. There are the daily struggles, balancing doctor's visits. I often forget about doctor's appointments until the last minute. And school schedules, making sure siblings aren't feeling left out, navigating insurance battles, because we do that often. And then there are the emotional struggles, which I've had because watching my child in pain and feeling helpless and worrying about their future, you often do that. One of the hardest parts is the unexpected stuff. Some days are great, and you almost forget on those great days about the child's diagnosis because you're living a normal day. But not all days are like that. Some days you just see a whole different level. And everybody asks me how it affects our whole family when one child has this chronic illness. It affects the whole family because it changes the way we parent. It changes the way our marriage functions, even the way the other kids experience childhood. It changes that. For our other kids, it's been a lesson of patience and empathy. They've learned to be more understanding, more flexible, but we've also had to be intentional about making sure that they don't feel their needs come second. It's a delicate balance and one we don't always get right. It's hard. But we have also learned to take things one day at a time. You can't predict the future, and you will worry about it constantly. It will only rob you of the joy in the presence. We celebrate the small victories, good days, progress, moments of normalcy. And when we have those, it's awesome. It's awesome. Just seeing the happiness. And it's almost like a bright light of all that special moment. We've learned that we are not alone in this. There's other families battling the same thing we are. In fact, I met a lady yesterday whose granddaughter has the same thing our Anna has. And she's got it worse off than Anna because she's in a hospital, intubated, because her seizures are so bad. And they don't know if it's from the shunt. She's had 8 shunt replacements, and they're not sure. My Anna has never had a replacement shunt. Her shunt has never malfunctioned that we know of. And I mean, it could be malfunctioning, but not enough that would cause her to have a replacement shunt. I'm going to end this with some closing thoughts. Here's what I want to say. This journey is not one we would have chosen, but it has shaped our family in ways we've never expected. It has made us more compassionate, more resilient, and more grateful for the good days. To all the parents out there that are navigating life with a chronically ill child, you are seen. You are not alone, and you are stronger than you know. Thank you for listening to We Are the Hansons. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And as always, we'd love to hear from you. Your experiences, your struggles, your victories. Reach out to us on our Facebook page at We Are the Hansons, or send us an email at wearethehansonsshow@gmail.com. And if you can get over to our YouTube channel, We Are the Hansons, and subscribe. I appreciate you all, and have a great day.